Hey everybody, welcome to the MoneyBru show. This is such a unique episode. We have our first woman entrepreneur. You are setting the stage for the people out there. She's gonna talk about business. She's so excited and she's so interesting in what she does, how she does it, and she's gonna blow your mind on some of the strategies, the ways that she just has launched her career. She's an inspiring woman and I'm excited for everyone to learn from her. But Michele, who are you and what are you about?
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the world is pretty cold. You might need a sweater too.
Yes. So my name is Michele Rutt. I'm the owner of Leading Edge Electric. So I am the master electrician of my company, and really it's a little bit of an anomaly. I'm gonna brag a little bit because I've been an electrician for 20 years now. So once you do it for that long, you can definitely brag, right?
Exactly.
We've got bragging rights. I own a small company up here in northern Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on today's show, she doesn't know a lot of the format, so I'm gonna explain this to you. For you guys watching there, this is called Yuck to Yum, and what we do is we taste different things, we ask business questions, we really get deep into your life, your business, and yeah, it's kind of a very different format. I don't know if you're excited, but we have some holiday treats because it's that time of the year.
Yeah.
You may be watching this whenever, so that's fine. You're gonna taste some of the stuff and we'll do the first one, which is Marmite right here, and then we'll start the question. So grab a spoon.
This is probably gonna really direct my answer.
I know.
Okay.
Maybe.
Little spoon, big spoon, doesn't matter. Okay, little spoon.
And so you get to butcher the name, but
Marmite.
Yeah, and you can actually get all these ingredients. They're from South Africa, but you can get them at King Soopers and Walmart. Oh,
wow.
The stuff is thick.
Yeast extract.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a chocolate caramel something.
So you can do it on the rice cake.
Okay.
I've had some guests put it right in their mouth, but it's up to you.
Is that like, I mean, you're putting it on the rice cake. I'm going to put it on the rice cake.
I'm South African and I've handled it. Oh, you put a lot, but that's good. It's fine. Okay, let's go.
You gotta shoot me straight here, man. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't look bad.
No, it's really good. It's a very different flavor.
Why do you only have that much? Like, what are we doing here?
Oh, you just take a bite. I'm not trying to set you up, I promise.
Okay.
It's not gonna burn.
All right.
Just very different, very salty, right? It's a lot. You had a lot. I feel bad for you.
Oh my God.
You're like my first guest who had so much. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
What does it take? What's the flavor like?
I can't, you know, it's like nothing I ever tasted before. It's like kind of bitter.
Okay.
It looks like it's going to be chocolate caramel, but
Psych! It's not.
No.
It catches
and
you.
it really has no flavor the first time. Like, you take a bite and there's no flavor, and then all of a sudden it like hits that part of your tongue and it's like, well, it's not going to register here, it's not going to register there, but
yeah, on a scale from 1 to 10.
I mean, what is it?
Oh wait, let me tell you what it is, then you can rate it.
What do you use it for?
Toast on butter and toast is so good, and cheese. Like you can put cheese on top of it, or you can eat it with snacks and crackers with cheese and butter. Oh, it's a delight in my country, honestly, but not everyone loves it. So
I didn't know it was good. It's
is
really strong.
It's made out
really
of
strong.
vegetable extract, so you're safe. Oh, are you allergic to anything?
No.
Okay, it's like too late. You're like on the ground.
All right.
If you want.
Yeah, we're gonna
moving on. So it's pretty intense. On a scale from like 1 to 10, 10 being yum, 1 being yuck.
It kind of, you know, it starts off as a 0 because you don't really taste it, and then it's overwhelming. So like all of a sudden it gets like to that 9 or 10 kind of, and then it kind of mellows out to like a 3 or 4. Like when you started talking about it and you could put some cheese or some butter, I'm like, I can see that.
Yeah. So you're like,
you know,
it evened out into like a 5.
Yeah, well, 3, 4. You know, I mean,
4. I love that. You know.
Well, I didn't know.
This show's about honesty. You got to be honest. 4. That's it. 4 is the number.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we jump into rapid fire.
All right, cool.
Okay, let's go. Your favorite treat outside of a drink?
Chocolate.
Okay.
Anything chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite color?
Purple.
Nice. Yeah. Favorite destination?
Virgin Islands.
Yes, I'd love to go there.
Yeah.
Favorite restaurant?
Seafood.
Seafood. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Dream car? Do you already have it?
I'm a truck person.
I knew it. I was like, I want to see your truck. I saw the coolest truck the other day.
Yeah.
Like old school Ford, man. Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Also, like a business owner, you may know. What time do you wake up?
5.
What time you go to bed?
10.
Breakfast or no breakfast?
Breakfast.
Favorite meal of the day?
Dinner.
Nice. Your next big business goal?
Real estate.
Occupy more or buy more or?
Buy more.
Okay. Outside of real estate, do you do anything else, or you like that?
You know, I'd like to be on some kind of an online platform.
Cool.
You know, where I can, you know, whether it's, you know, some kind of drop shipping or, you know, doing
Yeah.
something a little bit outside the box, a little bit outside the service industry.
Yeah.
Just something kind of cool.
Like a diversification.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. Drop shipping's awesome. I used to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, then
it's
I need to talk to you about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you some ideas, but it's a lot of work. It can be a lot of work in the beginning.
Yeah.
So I need to just remember this, how to say this. Mexico or South Africa?
That's not biased. You know, I don't know about that South Africa down there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. You're like, you're
besides
already,
what I just experienced.
exactly. You're like, you're already weird, dude. I don't know. Cool. Yeah, no, fair enough. You don't have to answer that one. Guys, the other part of the show that you guys should know about is Michele has already put in her favorite alcoholic drink and then favorite non-alcoholic drink. You guys get to guess at the end of the show. I get to guess and we get to pull that out, and Manny gets to reveal that. Actually, I don't know if you noticed our guest.
I noticed him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just here to chill, hang out. He wears something different every day almost.
Why you bullying me?
Nice. All right.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. And then for those of you out there, if you want to catch the content continually, you can like, share, and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm, is what they say. That's the word on the streets.
The flavor is still there, just so you know.
The next one will wash out that flavor.
Okay.
So I've got you. I got you. Next one. And we're bringing such cool entrepreneurs on the show, and your support helps us push that even further. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Let's keep on and let's ask you some more questions about your business. Let's start with your, and I'll prepare the next one while you share with us. Let's start with your success story. You know, who was Michele back when you first started, and now who's Michele now? And
good Lord.
How did that all happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord. That's a loaded question. I'll try to do it in like 5 minutes.
Do it, yeah.
Because everybody's always like, you know, how did you become an electrician? Was your dad an electrician?
Take as much time as you want.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna watch you, like low-key watch you.
Yeah, and tell me your story, because I want to hear this.
Okay, so everyone's like, how did you become an electrician? What made you decide to do that? You know, was your dad an electrician? Was your brother? They always like, you know, they always assume that there was some kind of male influence that pushed me into it.
It's typical,
you know?
though.
It is typical.
People assume that stuff.
It is. So really, I started working for my dad when I was 12 years old. He owned a restaurant bar. He was in the restaurant bar industry. And I just remember him one day saying, you know, he's sitting there brushing his teeth in the bathroom. I walked by and, you know, it was like 4 PM because he'd always go to work, you know, for the nighttime shift or whatever. And he just said, hey, I think I'll need some help at the restaurant tonight, you know? And I was like, I didn't even question it. I was like, yeah, all right, you know?
Cool.
12 years old. So I started, and you know, what's weird is, you know, every weekend through high school, which is non-typical, I worked every single weekend, you know?
You're a hustler.
This is for the G's and this is for the hustlers. This is for the hustlers, now back to the G's.
Yeah. And I can't even believe like how much my dad actually taught me, even though it wasn't anything about the electrical business, but you know, just running that restaurant and you know, knowing the ins and outs. I learned how to do inventory. And I mean, any business, you know, you're gonna have to do these things: inventory, advertising, scheduling, managing money.
Wow.
Right? And you don't realize it. You're like, man, I'm picking up these skills. I don't know what it means. Yeah, I got a counter drawer. I have to do this, whatever. Yeah, I'm passing out flyers, you know, pizza coupons, but it's all right.
Part of business.
It's advertising,
so
it's marketing.
Your dad's,
but not intentionally.
Yeah.
Like he was really creative. We had a lot of good bands. I remember like one of the venues he had, the Smashing Pumpkins. I'm from Chicago, and you know, they played over there, you know, before anyone knew who they were, you know. So we had like a lot of really cool bands that showed up. So my dad was like really creative and always trying to do something to kind of keep that up there.
But you were like observing. Without that, you were just plugging yourself in, right?
I had no idea.
Wow, you had no idea.
I was motivated by money. That was my motivation, right? I didn't know. I just wanted to go to work and make money. I thought it was cool to make money. you know, where I don't know what the problem is with my kids nowadays. I got 2 teenagers, you know, teenage boys, and I'm like, and we have these discussions. I'm like, I really think you're just gonna really like getting that paycheck, you know, just trying to like beg kids to get jobs nowadays. I'm like, oh my God, you know, they go from one extreme. You know, I have a 9-year-old stepson that's like, I'm going to be a millionaire on YouTube. Just watch. I'm going to be a millionaire. This guy makes millions of dollars. And, you know, and he's like, but I'm going to drop out. I'm in the 4th grade and I'm dropping out of school.
No.
You know? Yeah. And so it's funny. And then my 16-year-old is the opposite. He's perfectly happy being in his room for 20 hours a day. And he's a little troll in my basement. I'm talking to him about exit plans, you know, what animals of yours are you taking? We got reptiles. They live like 40 years. They need to go, you know? And so, right? It's like, you guys, I mean, come on, what's your exit plan here? You know, because I've got plans. I don't know about you.
I was so different when I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? I'm like so scared of when my kids, like my first kid becomes a teenager.
Oh, so. Yeah, it's funny. I've tried to get him to go to work with me. We'll see.
These YouTubers are scary though. Like, I think it is definitely a cool industry, but not everyone's gonna make money.
Right.
Like, you have to have your first job. Like, you have to. I think if it's very rare that I think most people who've done stuff, they first had a business and they made that one business super successful.
Or they had a night job.
Right. We all had to work at like a restaurant.
Yeah,
I worked at a restaurant for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I made more money there than all my friends in college. And I was like working my butt off, cleaning, learning everything, you know?
Yeah.
But not, I wasn't in the management side like you were. Anyway, so you're done with the restaurants, and from there, what ended up happening?
Yeah. So I would say, you know, anyone that's thinking about owning a business or going into business for themselves, if you have a job, excel at your job, right?
Yeah.
Like, get promoted to the highest level, because you're under a safety net there. You've got an employer, you know, you don't have to worry about payroll or employees or lack of work. You know, you're just kind of there, and you can accelerate and, you know, do the steps it takes to get to the top, right? And once you do that enough, then you're like, so when I was an electrician, and I'll get to how I, you know, became that. Yeah. But when in my electrical career, as I was going through just my apprenticeship before my master's, I was always the foreman. Every you know, job I had or employer I had, I was always the foreman.
Taking charge. Just that's amazing.
Yeah, the first to get my testing done when it needed to be done. You know, controlling the inventory for the shop and the ordering and purchasing and whatnot, whatever it took. You know, scheduling. And it's weird because I never knew that's what I was learning at 12 years old. Wow. You know what I mean? To be able to manage people when I was like in my 20s. That was kind of crazy.
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's weird.
So
it's like,
I want to ask you as well as we carry on with the story, because I think it's awesome. This is the next one, guys. I'm going to drop this in. This is a rock shandy. Okay. This should be a little better. Okay. It's I did it differently this time, but it's soda water lemonade with bitters.
All right.
And then I added some of this aloe vera this time around to see it. Look how cool this is. It'll like drop down. It looks like such a funky drink. It's really a lot better than the thing I gave you before.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, that's a lot.
Yeah, cheers to this.
So, all right.
I also had one guest take a full spoon of this, which is so bad. It was like cinnamon explosion.
That's different.
It's different. It's not amazing.
Yeah.
And the stuff still has to drop down.
Right.
Yuck to yum.
Like, would I drink it again?
Yeah, 1 is bad, 10 is amazing.
Oh.
Be honest.
It's probably like on the 2-ish.
Nice, good.
2-ish, yeah.
I think you like the first one with a 2, so that's fun.
Yeah. You know, I might like that other stuff a little bit better than that. I don't know.
Yeah, you gave that one a 4.
It's different. It's different. It's
different. So you said money was a big driving factor. Can I ask you why, and then carry on the story? Was it because
I'll tell
independence?
You why,
like you felt like you could? Oh, okay.
No, really.
Because I'm curious. I want to know that. Like, when you said that, I was like, man, that.
All right, so what was really scary to me really is the biggest reason I'm, you know, just motivated by money. Now, my dad's story, being the entrepreneur he was, it didn't end up well, okay? Oh, man. So it did really take a big downturn, you know, especially being in the bar and restaurant, you know, industry. It's just, there's a lot of drugs, there's a lot of alcohol, there's a lot of bad things. So unfortunately, but, you know, just getting to a point, and I think everybody should really, you know, understand this, that when you get to your retirement age, it just scares the crap out of me to to be working at Walmart like when I'm 70. I don't want to do that. And so you've got two decisions. You're either going to work for somebody, you know, in a pretty cush job where you're going to be secure and have some kind of retirement that way. But if you do take the chance, you know, of business ownership and getting into other investments, then, you know, the amount of work you have to put into it is exceptional, but I think I'd be pretty bored anywhere else.
Exactly.
So some people are perfectly happy with the 9 to 5, and that's great, and excelling in their career. You know, I've got a cousin that's an engineer, electrical engineer. There's no such thing as a poor engineer, I'll tell you that. I work for a lot of them, but it's always a good career choice. If it first thing doesn't work out, just do some engineering.
Yeah, engineering done.
Yeah, engineering done. You know.
Peace. Thank you.
Exactly. But he's got a great job offer. He's young, and you know, it's cool.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go out on your own and try to do something, man, the amount of work you have to put in.
People don't realize, hey.
No, and the amount of money you lose.
Yeah.
Woo,
it's insane.
It's scary. Like, you would cry if you knew how much money I've lost.
Yeah.
You know.
And there's a lot of people who don't talk about the realness of it. Like I think a lot of them are like, oh, you can live your dream, blah blah blah. It's a bunch of rubbish.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, you can, but I mean.
Yeah.
The only way to really accelerate it is to, you know, increase your circle. You really have to increase the people you hang out with. One of my first mentors, find a mentor. I know there's like a lot of coaches out there nowadays, and everybody's a coach, right?
Yeah.
But you gotta, everybody can build a website, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
You know, everybody's an electrician, right? No, it doesn't happen. But find good mentorship. And the first thing, the best thing my first mentor ever did for me, and number one, she got me out of the country. That's who I went to St. Martin with, you know, Virgin Islands.
Oh, cool.
Right?
Yeah.
So we go on this retreat, and this is my first mentor. And the first thing she did day one when she came into my office, which was in my basement, by the way, she was like, I'm going to fix your Facebook.
Wow.
And so she just, you know, let me have access to all of her friends. She started friend requesting for me, and that immediately increased my circle. And so now, you know, on my social media, it's a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, whatever. It's not really, it's completely different.
Your Facebook is like productive. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
That is like such a good tip for you guys at home. You know, like be proactive with your Facebook. I mean, some of us, they're Facebook friends from like high school days. Right?
It is your resume.
It is, right?
Yeah.
And you can clean that up. That is such a good tip.
Yeah.
So your coach, hashtag your coach, what's your coach's name?
Danelle Delgado.
You are awesome.
Yep.
By the way, and that's a plug for you because wow, like that's so wise.
Yeah, and you know, if you want to start, Danelle does free Friday Night Lives every single Friday, consistently for the last 3 or 4 years. You know, and it's always business tips and stuff. And she's so cool because she's the one that does have all the really neat retreats and everything. And she's really, you know, Danelle's kind of like, I call her the mothership of entrepreneurs. She's like a you know, a space alien mothership, and she's like dropping out little baby entrepreneurs. And, you know, a lot of people that have worked for her have really, you know, expanded in their own business and really taken off, and it's really good.
That's
you know, but
rare,
she's a good person to know, trust me. So look her up for sure.
I love it. Cool. And so I don't know if you answered that. The reason was kind of the motivation of succeeding, and then how did you end up like saying, okay, I'm gonna start the electric company, and how did you get into how did you end up in Colorado?
Right, so back in 1995, right? I was 21 years old.
Okay.
And I went on a couple crazy road trips, you know, cross country during high school with a couple of my friends, and I loved Colorado. And I was like, man, I want to,
Right. So anyway, cool.
So
fast forward,
getting into Fort Collins, we go to Old Chicago, the restaurant, right? Because we thought it was cool. And immediately get 86 out of that bar because we got too drunk, and we met this guy. He was about the same age as us, and he's like, oh, you guys are just road tripping and camping. We were literally living out of a tent. He's like, you can just come and camp in my backyard. Whoa, and I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. You know, I mean,
I love it.
So we go to his backyard or his house, and he lives with 4 other guys, and you know, 2 of them were, you know, in their mid-20s, and the other 3 guys were in their like early 40s, and they were a little grumpy and just a little different, you know. And I was like, all right, you know, but I had already made the decision right there that I'm staying.
Yeah.
You know, I have no car, I have a bike, I have a mountain bike, and I have like $200 in my pocket and a tent, and I'm totally fine. I'm gonna stay. This is before cell phones.
Wow.
They let me stay in their backyard. It was actually safer to stay in the backyard than it was in the house.
I can
because,
believe it.
you know, the windows didn't close, there were spiders, there was things. It was just an old rundown house. And I, you know, immediately within the next 2 days, I found 2 jobs, and I ran an extension cord out to my tent so I can run a little alarm clock radio. Remember those things, like before you actually had a phone to wake you up and stuff like that. And stayed in that tent for a couple months until October when we got our first snow. And I was like, I better do something about this, you know, and go rent a place, you know. And I rented a place with another couple guys. One was from LA, and he swore he was a Keanu Reeves, like, you know, stand-in. And I was like, no, not really.
Didn't even look like him.
A little, sort of.
It's like not enough.
I mean, black hair.
But that's it, yeah.
Maybe the same height. I don't know. Maybe black hair. Maybe the same haircut. No, it's funny. And so he was from LA, and then I lived with this other guy from South Dakota, which is totally different. I was like, it was just a funny dynamic. But, you know.
The adventure, man.
Oh, yeah.
That is like, that's like a movie right there.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it was crazy.
It's crazy, but it's like you took the risks, you went out, you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Ran the alarm clock into your tent. I love that. That's like the coolest thing.
Oh, I just had my head set on staying. I was like, I'm going to stay.
You're like, I'm going to make this work and find a way.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you kind of launched off through the connections.
Yeah. So
it took a while, obviously.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. I got sick of making, you know, $5 or $6 an hour, really.
Yeah.
And so I found out, like, you know, when I was in Chicago, you can make, you know, $20 an hour as a 19-year-old kid. That was good. That was back then. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, and out, you know, when I moved to Colorado, I learned right away that you either got to have some kind of a trade or, you know, be military or something. You know, you got to have some kind of a skill or education to be able to make some money. And I was like, okay. So I was just, my whole family, my mom and my brother and my dad, they all were private pilots, right? They had their little pilot's licenses, and I started flying when I was 16.
Jeez.
You know, well, yeah, but I am so car sick. I'm such a car sick person. And I was like, seriously, my flight instructor was this old World War II vet, like literally, and he was smoking in the plane, smoking cigarettes. And I was like dying. I was on Dramamine, I was sick, and he's like, oh, you're gonna do a solo, you know, I had like 20 hours in, and I'm like, no, I'm not. You know, I can't even land this plane right now. I'm like, you're crazy, you know. And so right when I got to where he thought I should be soloing, I don't know what he was thinking. I was like, maybe this isn't the right thing for me, you know. So otherwise I would have went into commercial, you know, aviation, you know. It would have been fun. But I heard of this school in Colorado called Colorado Aerotech. I got an avionics degree. That's what I actually went to school for. It was down in Broomfield. And, you know, so it was a 1.5-year accelerated program, and I worked my butt off. You know, it was school 5 days a week, 7 hours a day. It was regulated by the FAA. And then I had a full-time job on top of that with mandatory overtime. And I was pretty burnt, you know. I mean, that was really, 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 but I graduated top of my class, you know, and there was only like 3 girls in the entire school, you know, so in my class, I was super competitive. There's something funny that happens when you pay for school yourself. You tend to be like super competitive and get good grades.
Nice, because it's like you feel it.
Yeah, you feel it.
So yeah, like competitiveness, I used to be in art, and my high school teacher is like, by the time you get to 12th grade, you will be the only boy, or there will only be 2 or 3 boys left in the grade. Back then I wasn't doing very well with art, and then she left and another art teacher came, and I loved this art teacher.
Yeah.
She was like so awesome, and I would do everything in my power to make like my projects look good. And eventually I started to like pick up on it because I sucked at every other grade. And one day that teacher said to me, she's like, instead of trying to do good in every grade, just focus on art. Put like 70% in art, and put the rest into that. And I actually did better in all my other grades because I did that.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And so it just proved like when you're doing your passion, like you can really do it. But the girls were so competitive. Like I remember them like coming over to my desk, like, what are you doing? Like, you know, what project are you working on? And try and like steal stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I learned I had to be quiet, and I had to act like I wasn't doing very good to win, because I wasn't very good at being bashful in front, like and like taking that down, right? So I was gonna ask you, and eventually I got the highest grade, like for the region.
Oh.
But it was hard.
Oh, wow.
It was so hard. But I think the girls around me motivated me. They were very arty people. But anyway, so are you?
Yeah.
That's my competitiveness, which is like the silent, like under the covers. Are you more like?
Oh.
You'll tell them.
I am in your face competitive. You know, I believe it or not, you know, when it came to like testing and test time in class, I had guys trying to cheat off my paper. And I was like, oh, heck no, man. Yeah. I worked way too hard. I mean, I'd be at work, it'd be break time, and I would
have a treat too.
Literally, oh, okay.
This isn't South African, but these are treats.
No, this is, anyone can eat these. They're fairly safe. I'm in the safe zone right now. This is okay. These are good.
They're good.
Uh-huh.
And they're like the pretzel, creamy kind of flavor. Going back into your story, where do you start okay, school and then the electrical
School.
company. Cool.
All right, so went to school for a year and a half, graduated, and really all the really cool jobs in aviation, well, the starter jobs, you know, it's not like I could just go to DIA and be like, hey, I'm here, because there's like a 20-year waiting list, you know,
like, hey,
Choice City, you know.
You're like, hey, Captain.
Right, I'm here, I'm ready. And so I would either have to go to like Wichita or Indianapolis, San Francisco. All those were options. And the guy that I was married to at the time.
So it's competitive in the States.
Right.
Like,
oh yeah.
It's so competitive.
Well, you got to start somewhere. You're not going to start at like Choice City, USA. You're going to have to go down, you know, sit in this hole for a while, you know, seriously. And so the guy I was married to, he just didn't want to move away from town.
Gotcha.
You know, and so I was like, okay. And this really cool job came up at Keystone Ski Resort.
No way.
Yeah. And so they're like, well, what'd you do there? And so I was what's called a lift maintenance electrician is what they call it. So with my education and controls and, you know,
that's so cool.
Electronics and stuff like that, I worked on all the motors and controls for the ski lifts. And you would not believe like how much actually goes into moving those ski lifts, because you just jump on your chair and you're like, doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, you're like, I'm good.
But there's, you know, big old, you know, 1,000 horse DC motors at the top, and a lot of communication cables coming from, you know, up and down. So the lift operator, the safety.
Technical, like, that's a lot of like, I'm sure you guys are doing a ton of maintenance all the time.
It's maintenance, and then when the lifts go down, you know, we're scrambling to figure out why, because you just can't.
It's like money on the clock, right?
Well, you can't let people sit up there and freeze. Little popsicles.
Is that what you'd call us?
Yeah.
Like, if we don't do this fast enough, we're gonna have a ton of popsicle people up there.
Right. And our little motto at the resort was deliver the magic. That's what you got to do. Deliver the magic.
Deliver the magic.
And so, like, even in the summer though, it's so beautiful because we do the summer maintenance and you're on a ski resort and it's just beautiful, mountainous, green, you know, whatever, and you're riding all the, you know, you literally, those little chairs that you sit in to ride to the top of the mountain, they put cages on the line, and you harness up and you pull up to each tower and you climb out on top of the tower and clip yourself in and work all the stuff up. It's a cool job. So if you guys don't like, if there's younger, if you got a younger crowd here, and you're getting out of high school and you're like, where do I want to work? And Taco Bell isn't going to do it for you. Like, go like work at a ski resort for a couple. You will literally, because you ski for free, and you'll literally meet like so many cool people because there's work exchange programs. So you meet these like crazy South Africans. Like literally, I went to Canada a couple of years ago. And there was nothing but Australians working at the horse stables.
What?
Because Canadians go down to Australia and Australians
they exchange.
Yeah, they exchange. So it's cool. You meet people from everywhere. It's a really cool job. Got to ride around on my snowmobiles were the mode of transportation. Oh, it was really fun.
That is fun.
Yeah, it's absolutely fun job. But when I was up there, my schedule was 8 days on, 6 days off.
Wow.
So, which is cool. You would think, oh yeah, that's really awesome. The problem is, your friends have 2 days off a week. So the other 4 days you're sitting around twiddling your thumbs. You're like, this is boring. Like, dude, really?
Yeah.
And so I got a job with those 6 days off working part-time for an electrical contractor, which, you know, a contractor wiring houses.
Wow.
Because one of my friends is like, hey, this electrician over here, and you're kind of an electrician over here.
Yeah.
So why don't you hook up with him? I'm like, yeah. And, you know, so I started wiring houses up there and learning how to do that. And, you know, I'm just a crazy workaholic, and that's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
You know, that's what
business is, I think business takes that. And
Right.
I think there's very rare times where you can put in, I think even 10 hours, 20 hours, there's this hypothetical dream of, you know, the 4-hour work week.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I honestly think most businesses, you need all that time, right? You
Yeah.
need that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hadn't gone through all of that, you wouldn't have all that experience, all
Right.
the stuff that you've gone through.
You have to love it. You have to love to work.
You have to.
I don't know about
Do you
that.
like hot sauce?
Yeah, I like hot sauce.
Okay, good. This is a
Yeah.
good one. This is from South Africa, and it is African bird's eye chili,
Okay.
and it's a Portuguese chicken. It's really good on that. But for today, we'll just put it on here.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, and it's not gonna burn the crap out of you, so don't worry.
This thing is stuck to the napkin. Now, let
Yeah.
me just, yeah,
Separate
because
it.
somebody went crazy
Let me just-
with their, what was
got-
that stuff called?
Oh, sorry. It's called
I always
Marmite.
look at how much you have compared to.
Oh, I'll put more. I
No.
love this stuff. So just imagine it on chicken, grilled chicken, and there's a franchise they have. They're actually in, I think they're in Chicago and New York.
It's hot, but that stuff is good.
It's not like,
It's good.
it's not gonna like make you cry. Like it says XX hot,
Yeah.
but my wife and I eat a ton of hot sauce and it's not like,
Well, yeah.
you know what
My
I mean?
kids eat like a lot of hot sauce. That is a good, like, flavorful
Yeah,
hot
it's a
sauce.
different
It's good.
chili. It's
Yeah.
a different like pepper, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Good.
I have an even hotter one.
Nope.
You don't like hot?
Not hot.
Okay, 1 to 10.
Do you want to see me, like, die over here?
No, but this is a cool one. It's from a
6, 7.
6, 7. Okay.
And, like, hotness.
And hotness? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I love
Good
it.
flavor, though.
This one is, we'll give a little bit. And this one is Some Like It Hot
Alright.
Sauce. They're a tanning company in Wyoming.
They're a what?
Tan, you know.
Tanning?
Yeah. Like,
Oh, yeah?
Like you go and get
Yeah.
brown there, you know. Whenever I walk in and help him with his website, he's like, here's a free tan, here's some hot sauce. It's like, the brand is so clever. Some Like It Hot Sauce, you know.
Yeah.
And the tanning company is called Some Like It Hot.
All right.
So
Let's do it.
let's do it.
Let me wash the flavor out from that last one.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same.
All right.
So you have to tap it to get it out.
Okay.
We're gonna go all the way because
Yeah, because they're like,
we're doing this for you guys.
don't use too much. That's why. Look, I'm making a mess. I got hot sauce going
Okay.
everywhere.
So Hyde and Shandy, this is for you. We appreciate you guys. Cheers. Let's try this one.
All right.
That's good, huh?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I like this one better.
It's branded hot sauce, so you can get this for your own company.
Oh my, really?
There's a company that does this.
No way.
I'll give you the contact. You can buy them in like 1,000 or 100 or... But it definitely is hotter because it's got a ghost pepper in it.
Right. That
But
is good.
So sweet and sour, super hot, coconut ghost chili. Like, is the flavor, I guess.
That's good. It's good stuff right there.
Habanero. This is definitely a very good American
Yeah.
one. It's got that aftertaste burn, right?
It's got, I don't know if it's the coconut or what you, well,
Something in
it's
there.
sweet. It's like, it's different. It's good. It's
I love that. I know, and I think hot sauce especially, like if you don't get the ingredients right, there's like this one, like you just said, that sweetness kicks in and then the hot stuff comes after,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it had almost like a smoky flavor, don't you think?
Yeah.
It did. That's
I
what
think
it
it
is.
could be the habanero.
Yeah, I don't know.
1 yuck to yum.
Oh, that was like a 9, 8, 9. Yeah. Huh.
Yes.
That was good.
I always like to get 1 9 out of a guest.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And I don't want it forced though. I want it like natural.
Right. No, that was really good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next part, chat, and then we'll get into more of your story.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say a South African slang, and you have to translate it in English.
Oh. That's
Okay.
like,
Are you ready?
all right, yeah.
Okay. Vuga sizwe.
Is it a food?
No, it's a saying. It's like a principle.
It's a principle. Good vibes?
You're so close. It's like wake up nation, or like it's an African saying, which means like unite nation or wake up nation.
Okay, yeah.
Stuff is really burning right now.
Yeah, it is. It's still there.
It's still there. It's like lingering.
Yeah.
And so, oh, what the heck? Did you translate it?
Sorta. No, I just said good vibes.
You did. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So then I like to ask, Wake Up Nation, what does that mean? Does that mean anything to you? And how would you interpret that as a principle? Like, does that inspire you? Does that trigger something in you?
Oof.
Probably does. We don't have to go political.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. Yeah.
So skip.
Yeah,
we'll
skip
move on.
it. Skip.
Okay. The next thing I'm gonna ask is, do you have a favorite business book or favorite piece of content?
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Business books. Holy cow. Anything.
Like your top one or top. Do you
God.
read books?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly Audible.
Yes, I also listen.
Yeah, because it's
driving.
You do, man, and that's a really good principle right there. Is the amount of personal development you always have to be feeding your mind with something positive, because especially if you're still like in the coworker zone, right? Working for somebody else and you're around coworkers all day, they have a totally different mindset than a business owner would. Even if my employees are amazing, I have a great team. I do. You have to work with one of them all day long, right? They really are, but there's a difference between employee mindset and entrepreneur or business owner mindset.
You can see that in the entrepreneurs, because when I watch your entrepreneurs work, it tells me a lot about how much your hand is on the business, because I've seen a lot of businesses that the business owner is completely not in the business, and it's bad because the employees behave in a very different way.
Yeah. No, it does.
And it's cool to see people kind of like take initiative, do their thing, but you can see it quickly.
The biggest thing is employees are like, hey man, it's 3 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock, I'm checking out. And that, when it turns 5 o'clock for me, I'm like, all right, you know what? I tell my guys when I'm talking to them, I'm like, I got 5 o'clock until, to make phone calls until 5 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Because that's when places are open, and, if I want to, whoever I'm calling.
Just before I leave work.
Yeah, 5 o'clock. And then after 5 o'clock, it kicks into a different shift.
Right.
It's like, well, now the phone's not going to ring, and I can really work on this kind of stuff in my quiet time and get these bids out or get this billing out or whatever I need to do. So it's completely different. But in the morning time or when you're driving, it's super, super important every single day to not only be writing in a gratitude journal, because you got to celebrate your wins. And a lot of times when you're in business, you're going to be, so hard on yourself. You are. I'm like one of the hardest people. We're all our, worst critics, right?
Yeah.
You're going to constantly be like, well, I could have increased the profit margin on that, or I could have done that, or why did we mess up, or why didn't this go smooth, or what didn't you understand, or whatever. I just lost $30,000. Oh my God.
You make me want to, like, this is so emotional for me, because it's like you're speaking to me, and like, I know how hard I am on myself.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like I never give myself a break.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. I mean, that's wow.
And you do. You have to celebrate your wins.
You listen to motivation, you write it down. Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
So at night, it's maybe more, if I'm listening to it, it's more meditation stuff, or more like, hey, the universe has your back kind of thing.
Totally, yeah.
Right? But
and
in the morning.
motivation to keep you running.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
And just to let you know that, hey, it's okay. You did what you could today,
Yeah.
But books, gosh.
Yeah, one or two that you think?
Man, there's so many. There's different authors that I read.
Yeah.
One that would really stand out. Let me think of it. I'll get back to you on that.
Let's see what Manny thinks. I don't know if he has any ideas, brother. But Manny's just quiet.
Do it!
So, what's the worst book or worst advice you've ever gotten? It's such bad advice you'd wipe your butt with it, or wipe your kid's butt with it, Like someone gave you advice and it was like, this is so bad.
I'm going to say something really bad. But, look, I've been in business a few times, because you don't always win, right?
Why are you crying?
I was working for a guy for several years, 7 years, and him and his wife moved to Hawaii, whatever. And then I just didn't have a job. And he's like, hey, I want to sell my business to you. And I'm like, yeah, all right. And so we started working on it. How are we going to sell this business? What's it worth? And he's like, I really think you should partner up. You should get a male partner.
Whoa.
A male partner.
Is that what they said?
That's what he said, and this guy, Andrew, I used to work for.
That is so old school.
And he was younger than me, but he's like, I think you would really, have a stronger presence if you had a, male.
I was like, disagree with that.
A male partner. And I'm like, first of all, one of the questions people always ask is, you're a female in a male-dominated industry. Has that ever affected you? I'm like, no. Like, why would it?
Like, have you met me?
It's never been gender specific, ever in
it's
any
about
industry.
who you are. It's about who you are. So my wife used to work in the car dealership industry, and she would get that a lot, where customers or people would just like assume, like, like, where's the
where's your husband?
Yeah, or where's the male manager, or where's the It's like so crazy. And
it is.
I think some countries have moved on from that, and I think there's different places where people are more used to that, and it's like it's silly that we're still like, you shouldn't be talking about that, like, you know what I mean? It's like way
I know. People always ask that though, and they're always it's really never. Now trust me, I mean,
for women entrepreneurs, what advice?
You will cry.
Yeah.
You will be brought to tears. That's just the way it is.
And business in general does that too.
In business in general. I've worked at a few companies where, you're going to come in as a threat. If you've done, your due diligence and you're educated and, you're trying to add value to a company and, accelerate yourself and, get to that lead position or promoted or whatever, right? Then you come in as a threat, and there's some people that can't handle that threat. There's going to be a small percentage of people that you're going to work with, and you gotta seek them out, that are like, oh, I can learn from this guy or this girl or, this person over here. So I'm going to gravitate, like, what do I need to do to get around that person? And then there's going to be a bunch of, stuff in the background that's just going to be like, man, it's a lot of noise. It's a lot of chaos in the background.
No one talks about this. I think this is so good. Like, just realize, even like any position you go into, there's a potential, and especially if you're a lady, there's a very high potential that if it's let's say it's a male-run company, they're not very diverse, they're gonna see you as a threat. That is powerful, because it instead of being surprised by it, you're ready for it. Yeah. Like in any situation. And I can say the way you have to present yourself out there, because there is a big difference, because we are women. Right. And guys are gonna look at you one of two ways. They're gonna say, she's available or she's not available, right? Sure. And there's no in between. Unfortunately, there is no in between. And if they're a yucky guy. Yeah. If there's, I mean, and there's a lot of yucky guys. There's a lot of weird people out there, man. So you just got to have this vibe. Like, you got to shut it down, because we could all put that energy out there, to attract people, but it's not good. That's not the energy that gets you through business. It's not. Yeah. It's not, and it's not the energy that gets you respected either. So a lot of the women that work for me, I have to shut it down right away with them. Like, I have to have those conversations, and the guys that work for me on the flip side, they don't appreciate it that, a lot of guys have daughters they're raising at home and stuff, and there's just no place in my company for that kind of talk. And I know I know like a lot of workplaces can be really, really toxic. Leave. Get out of there, go. Because there's way better. You can't be productive like that, and to go forward in your career, No, you don't. You don't at all. You don't. There's no way you're gonna, make $1 million deals out there, putting forth that kind of energy. It takes a lot more. Yeah, and plus, it also attracts the wrong energy, like you said, like the toxicity. It attracts people in your life that you wouldn't want, right? Right. Yeah. So absolutely. That's great. Let's swing back to the story. Yeah. We have a few more minutes, so I really want to hear you launching the electric company. So much for 5 minutes. Yeah, I know. You launching the electric company, and then how many years it's taken. Oh, okay, yeah. Let's just blaze through that. So worked at Keystone, started wiring houses in Summit County. Cool. And going through my apprenticeship with the idea, that now shortly after I started wiring those houses, 2001 came up and 9/11 happened, right? And so the aviation industry kind of took a nosedive, so to speak, right? So I wasn't getting my foot into that industry for a few more years. That industry had to recover, right? Wow. So 9/11 kind of, I went to school for one thing, 9/11 happened, and boom, education is irrelevant. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do my 5-year apprenticeship and I'm going to own my own business. That's what I thought I would do. So great. Yeah. Fast forward a little bit, 2006 comes around, I get my master electrician's license. My boss, the same one that said, I think you should partner with a male, was really also very proactive in my success, right? And so he helped, I was his foreman, of course, right? Yeah. So he can go snowboarding and do whatever he wanted, I would be there working. Yeah. Sometimes people are like the cornerstones in your life, certain situations push you this way, push you that way. And I always look back at situations where I was really mad at someone, and I'm like, you know what? they actually got me to where I'm at today.
Yeah.
So anyways,
Yeah.
so fast forward there.
Yeah. So 2006, I opened up my business. It's called Leading Edge Electric.
Nice.
And, you know, back in the day when we advertised in the newspaper, still, I mean, can you believe how fast or how far technology has
shifted?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So,
Yeah.
you know, in the newspaper, we're advertising, you know, female electrician. People would actually call me little newspaper ads. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that, you know?
Yeah.
And
that's unique. That's part of the brand.
Yeah, it was. It was. And had one primary contractor, and I thought I was doing good. You know, the first year I did like 250,000 in sales. I was on a little roll. I was traveling for work though, and compromising my family. That's another story for another time.
Totally.
But, you know, 2008, when we had our little recession, our economic
downturn.
Yeah. Oh my God. I just didn't have enough skin in the game. I lost my business. It was like, literally, I went to work Friday and didn't have a job Monday because I worked for contractors and, you know, the banks shut down.
So then it
was that fast.
Wow.
And I mean, it was bad. It was bad for a lot of people in 2008. I got divorced. I lost my house, lost my business.
Wow.
All of it.
And this was like a, what, 2-year period?
Well, it was, no, like a 2-month period. You know, like I was in business for 2 years.
2 months.
But within, yeah, it was like October of 2008 is when it really...
Wow, compared to the pandemic though, you felt you were more prepared during the pandemic?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that people lost their stuff.
Oh my God.
In 2 months. I was in South Africa during this time.
Oh.
So it took 2 months, and it was that is so sad. I'm so sorry.
It happens.
That's brutal.
And no, it was brutal.
Yeah.
It was brutal for a lot of people. But the upside to that, like, look, you're always going to have to pivot and turn. You're going to have to figure it out. There is no, first of all, there's no crying in construction, and there is no, you know, time for you to make excuses.
Yeah.
Well, like, bottom line, I don't care. This
Yeah.
pandemic, I know it's hard, but you know what? We went through 2008.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of us that are older, we went through 2008.
So you guys already, like, this was our first as a generation.
Right.
And so I feel like a lot of us are sensitive, but it's like your generation, you guys know it, right? Like,
but there's a lot more ways to make money nowadays than there was back then.
No, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
there is, just because of the way of the technological advances. And everyone's like, oh, I'm going to start an online business. I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to like follow my passion. That's what people are doing right now. If this pandemic has done anything for anyone, it's like, ooh, I have more time at home. So a lot of people are really celebrating their time at home right now.
Yes.
What I did in 2008 is I was a foster parent previously for a year or two. And I got recertified.
Wow.
And that's when I moved here to Greeley and started doing foster care again. And I actually adopted my daughter out of foster care during that downtime we had. Because the construction industry, the construction industry actually, it, you know, took about 3 years to recover that housing market crash.
Jeez.
So we kind of went back to work in 11. And I subcontracted from, you know, previous employers because why? They all called me back, right?
Yeah.
Because you worked on building that relationship in the first place and you didn't burn any bridges, right?
So that way you could lift back up.
You were a key person, you know, you were that, you know, that...
customer service, man.
Yeah, well, you were just that key player, that, what am I trying to...
consistent person.
Yeah, that MVP.
MVP.
You were the MVP of the company, you know? And they're like you're going to be the first to get called back every single time, right?
Yep.
And so that's what happened. And I was in my happy place. I was making good money, you know, and I didn't have all the paperwork and employees and the headache, but, you know, I was getting paid as a subcontractor and,
that's so cool.
You know,
so don't be lazy. Be the MVP of everyone.
Be the MVP,
Let people, let the companies around you see your work ethic, see your MVP-ness.
You'll get recruited.
Yeah.
Is what'll happen. That's what happens nowadays.
You should coin that. That's so good. I love it. We have a few more moments left. I'm going to ask you some other questions. We have one more taste test.
All right.
So let's do it. Last one. This one is a killer. Do you like fish?
Yeah.
Okay, here we
go. We talked about the seafood restaurants, right?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to like,
so
what's happening?
I would put it on the rice cake. It's easier to digest.
Look at this. Look. Look what's happening right now.
I'm sorry. I need to get more spoons.
Yeah, because, okay, how much?
As much as me.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I don't want you like being like, oh my God, that's so much.
Let's rock and roll.
All right, got it.
Okay.
Oh God. Well.
We eat this on toast. Can you believe it?
Well, you smell it first. And you're like, oh God, that's, you know. But I like tuna, so it's not really.
And you can throw butter on it too.
You guys need to throw butter on a lot of stuff, man.
That's the way we do it. I mean, we're like, there's a lot of Dutch influence in South Africa.
Yeah.
Okay, yuck to yum, 1 to 1. 1 to 10.
I'm not gonna like, you know, probably like a 3.
Nice. I'm yet to see someone give this a 9. You gotta really love fish.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll hit 9. We'll see.
Man, that's like, I'm gonna have fish breath when I go sit
sorry.
next to John.
I'll give you some. Yeah. How's it going? No, that's so bad. Okay. Well, I wanted to ask you a question about what has been your marketing strategy. I know it's a lot of word of mouth. Oh gosh. It's rice cake stuck to a drink.
Yeah, because of what? What is that stuff down there? What
Marmite.
is it?
Yeah, be careful with Marmite, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I know relationships are huge, right? And I always tell people if you can get free marketing, that's the way to go. So yeah, what do you tell me about
let's find this free marketing.
Yeah. Word
oh
of
my
mouth.
gosh, anyone, yeah. So that's just like 1/3 of your business plan or strategy, right? It's, you know, the marketing aspect of it. The other one is numbers, and the other one is like customer relations, you know, and company culture, you know, how are you building your culture and, you know, dealing with your customers, right?
Right.
You know, because I mean, over deliver and outperform. That's what one of my first mentors told me, you know, taught me. Over deliver, outperform, and you're going to be fine in that consumer market. You know, building a good company culture. But the marketing, holy moly, you will go through companies, you will try, you will get scammed. You know, there's so many out there. Yeah. And you will you will spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars one way or another, good or bad, in marketing. You know,
and how do you avoid? I have a technique to avoid that, but how would you tell someone to avoid that?
Please share, yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I can go on, yeah.
It's a headache, man.
It is.
I feel bad for that industry because it's like there's just so many bad apples, I think.
Right.
One of the strategies I like to always talk about is, you know, have a percentage for your marketing, like 8% or whatever you're going to spend. I think there's a traditional like, you should spend like 5 to 15%-ish.
But it's got to work.
It's got to work. And if it doesn't work, I always put them against each other. So I will go to like three or four marketing companies, and then you get different quotes. And then you also back that up with people who've already had results.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, hey, this marketing company, this person, they're successful at, let's say, events marketing, but this person's giving me a better quote. Hey, can you drop your price to that? Yes, I can. No, I can't. And then also like, hey, I need a guarantee. Like if I can't get a guarantee, I would like at least half my money back.
Yeah.
Because there's actually, in the United States, actually any country, there's a Consumer Protection Act as well as guarantees and things like that. People actually have to give you a guarantee whether they want to or not.
Right.
And you don't have to be mean about it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, well, you should read the contract that just came from my last marketing place, because it said specifically in there, we're not responsible for lost profits or, you know, bad performance. I mean, literally, it just spelled it out like that.
So just watch out for that.
Oh, yeah, watch out for that big time. But don't always go for the cheapest. You know, the cheapest, but on the flip side, the most expensive isn't always the best. You know, you don't want to hire the cheapest contractor either, you know, because... you know, you just never know. But what I've turned to now is a consulting firm. I never thought I would use one, you know, and they're actually 50 grand for the year. Cool. That's a big investment. But when you think about it, $50,000 is $25 an hour for an employee, and I'm getting 2 people, one on the marketing and one that's looking at my numbers and P&Ls and budgets. And I hired him he's a sales strategist is what he is. And I've watched him for a few years, and so I'm super, and they're just not vendors of mine. They're actually, you know, strategic business partners. Yeah.
That is so powerful.
And it is cool. And so,
And let's talk some numbers. So what do your profit margins look like? How much profit could you pull from jobs? Not from jobs. Let's just say overall, because I think companies watching this, it's good for them to know this. People out there who are looking for electrical services, you can look. You can find Leading Edge online. I'll put the website in the description. But as a business owner, I've always found like I have to cut expenses like almost every 3 months, or because I'm finding like expenses creep up on me.
You don't have to cut expenses. You have to control expenses, and you have to have your finger on your numbers, so if there's one thing that everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm going to own a company, I'm going to run a business, I'm a technician, I'm going to run a business. Well, it doesn't work that way. And you can't judge your success off, oh, I'm really busy for the last 6 months, so I think I'm doing good. Well, guess what? Did you pay all your taxes? Let's just talk about that.
Exactly.
Are your supply houses paid? Let's talk about that, So as far as the service industry goes, depending on, you've got the big ones, electrical, plumbing, heating and air, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So you're gonna, the HVAC guys, I would say their profit margin is a little bit higher than ours. Their markup on their, I'm sorry to say, but the furnaces and water heaters are way more expensive than they should be. Yeah. But typically us in the service industry, I shoot for about a 60% margin. I don't get it all the time. Sometimes a negative 25, you know what I mean? And so.
But that's awesome. Like if you can hit those 60%, you can keep your employees fed, because I think people also don't realize profit means the money, like a lot of times that's healthy for the company, that it allows the company to pay everyone, and also allows the company to pay the owner and pay stakeholders and pay partners.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like I think business people go into it not realizing that profit is good. Like you don't want to have like every deduction in the book and then your company run down.
Right.
You want to eventually have profit.
No, and
there's strategies. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You will literally just bleed to death out there if you don't know.
Yeah, because
you don't watch your numbers.
You could say I'm making 500 or however much money you make on an annual basis, but
how much
you could sell 1,000 stuff, like you could sell 1,000 products on Amazon, but not making any profit. You're dying.
Right.
So that's my next question is, what has been your best year of annual gross? And
I would say, I think that came in, annual gross was almost $1 million.
Nice.
And which was okay.
Yeah. You're getting to that million mark.
Still, you know, it'll change.
Let's hit that 7-figure club.
Yeah. Let's meet next year at this time and we'll talk about where our numbers are after I have these consultants, and we can talk more of strategy and who to hire and stuff like that to accelerate your business, And
it's a huge achievement. Almost hitting a mill is, I think,
it is.
It's
cool.
It's one of the most benchmarking, most common common dreams of people.
Right.
Not a lot of us are going to hit that dream, but if you work hard, and I think you can hit those dreams, it's cool.
Yeah.
And how many years has the business? It's been 2006, right?
Yeah,
14 years.
6 and out of business in 8. Took a few years off, subcontracted. I went back in 15 intentionally, with intentionally building. I was like, okay, I'm really gonna I still wasn't paying attention. I did not know. I still wasn't paying attention to everything I should have, I was getting a lot of jobs, but did I have inventory control? How much warranty work was I doing? What was my turnover rate? How was my company culture? That's all changed, so now having that solid foundation, a more solid foundation, and you just don't know. I mean, I would highly suggest just, getting a good consulting firm or a good coach to begin with.
I have
and
one too.
Start off with not selling jobs, but really paying attention to those numbers and breaking down, doing the job costing and breaking down each job to see if you were actually profitable and what margin you were at. And it's going to be really eye-opening, and you're going to be like, darn. But you can't you can't develop a budget and say, hey, I want a project manager, or I want a sales consultant, or a salesperson, or I want to get uniforms, or I want to give bonuses. You can't do any of that unless you know exactly where you are. And you should be doing this every single week.
That's so good. My next question was how did you scale your company? Because I know a lot of the new guys, a lot of people in business, they may not be scaled. When was it man, I need to hire some more employees? And how did you justify that cost? Were you already making a ton of sales?
Yeah, advertising, the right advertising venues. And it changes quickly. Every 6 months, I think you should kind of look at your marketing plan, right?
Cool.
And see where the consumer is finding you. Right now, Google is pretty big. That's how everybody they just want to Google things. Maybe 2-3 years ago, people would get on the Home Advisor, Angie's List, platforms.
Different market back then.
Different market, it really just, there's a lot of lead generators out there, and I'll try them for a couple months, but you got to track it. You got to track it, and you can't be married to it. So,
cool.
Hiring a good marketer and having them tell you this is where it's at. This is what you need to do. You need to do Google ads, or you need to do Facebook ads, or whatever your product is, whatever you're doing. You have to figure out what the consumer wants. And then that's how you market. You can't, you know.
That leads us to the last plug, and then we're going to close the show. I focus a lot on websites because that's kind of where my specialty is at. There's a marketing company, they do a show as well, Zova Marketing. You guys can go check them out. But today's plug is from one of our sponsors, and it is a digital business card. So instead of carrying business cards, you carry one of these key tags. It looks like a little blue tag, and you touch your phone on the back, and it opens up your business card for your customer, and they can add your contact. If my phone will load, let's see if it'll load. They will.
We're in a basement.
Yeah.
We're like in a cave right now.
Right. So pretty much the business card will open up on your phone, and you can save it.
That's cool.
It's super cool. If you guys want to find out more information about it, go to DanielJamesMedia.com/gift. You can also use this to take a photo of the NFC tag, like a business card. And what that's going to do is it's going to take them straight to your website, or it's going to add the business contact on your phone. So very cool piece of software. And
that is cool.
It is cool. This is from Easy Deals. Thank you, Easy Deals, for being our sponsor today. We're so appreciative of you guys. They do digital coupons. It's all online coupons for your business. You can do spin and wins.
See, I don't know this.
Oh, I know. I need to show you this. So roofing companies use it. I know, it's cool. Easy Deals is a partner. They're cool.
Yeah.
I'll show you something.
Okay, yeah.
But you can check it out on the site. You'll see my sample is a spin and win. Other companies do scratch and wins. So, and before I forget, we have to show your drink, your favorite drink. Where did we put that? Do you remember?
It's up there. It's over there.
Okay, I got it.
It's red. There's a reason it's red, so we don't lose it.
So my guess for alcoholic drink, I think, has to be, it's gotta be something strong. Like, I feel like it, or something, man, let me think. I barely say this for my guesses, but I'm gonna say brandy. No. Wait, let me try again. It's an IPA.
No.
I can't get it. Okay, let's see. So we know coffee. She said her favorite category is coffee. That's a good one. Black coffee?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, you can make it anyway. I don't care.
Strawberry margarita. I was way off.
Strawberry margaritas. I did not spell that right. I was like, I don't know if I can spell
strawberry margarita. It's close. That's actually really good. There you go, guys. You have it for the show. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Check out her website. Check out what they're doing. They're a really fast-paced company. Thank you for being inspired with us. Thanks for being on the MoneyBru show. That's the name of the show. And we'll catch you on the next episode. We have some exciting ones coming up, so don't miss that. We do it on Thursdays, every second Thursday of the month, and every fourth Thursday of the month.
Nice.
For now. So until we can do every Thursday. So.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. I will shake or hug, whatever we're gonna do. See you guys on the next episode.
Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see us